Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about this wild battle between Ally, SoFi, and American Express. And I'm going to be making this video as someone who's done research, also made some observations, and also from personal experience using high-yield savings accounts since 2022. When I finished paying off debt with my wife, it was time for us to start building our emergency fund with flexible access because we want to start saving for a house, for a car. And this is when one of the last trips we took when we first started paying off our debt. This is our honeymoon. We were thinking, okay, we're going to be paying off all this debt. Might as well just take our honeymoon because we hadn't taken one after our wedding. So we decided to just make the best out of it. So this is Costa Rica 2018. If you haven't been there, go check it out. It's an amazing place. So with all that being said, let's start looking at the comparisons here between these three options. And of course, the number one requirement that we all look at, and certainly something that you are probably paying attention to right at this moment, is we all care about a competitive APY. Now, the interest rate, or also known as APY, it's not always the main determinant. Sometimes you just want to go with an organization that is more familiar to you, that is the most established. But when it comes to competitive rates, the one that comes ahead here is SoFi, but it has a little caveat, and I'm going to be going over in a second. Ally, it has a 4.35% APY at the moment, as of January 2024. AMEX comes right next to it, which is a 4.35, and SoFi has a 4.6 APY or interest rate for their high yield savings account. Now, I do have a little star there, which basically tells you that in order to qualify for this 4.6 APY, you do need to set up direct deposit, and also they do make you open a checking account automatically after you open a savings account with them, which is something that does not happen with either Ally or American Express. So it just really comes down to what you want out of a high yield savings account, and if you want a bank and you put all your check-ins and all your eggs in one basket. Now, when it comes to opening an account bonus, if you're a new client, if you are looking for something, hey, what are some motivations, some incentives that some organizations are offering there? Well, let me break it to you, and I hate to break this to you, but Ally and American Express offer no bonus. There were some programs out there that were only for a few select customers. You had to be invited into the programs, but the one that has the most publicly available program is SoFi, and they do offer, as of right now, up to a $325 bonus. But make sure that you know that you qualify for this bonus because you get $50 if you set up direct deposit between $1,000 and $5,000. You do get $300, the full bonus, if you set up a $5,000 plus direct deposit. Now, let's talk about FDIC insurance. Of course, something that is very, very important. One of the things that I've learned over the years and something that I tell everybody that I love is, hey, do not bank with an organization that is not insured. In case the bank goes sideways, in case the bank disappears, then at least have a way to get at least part of your money back, if not a full refund of all your money. Ally does offer the very much standard FDIC insurance of up to $250,000 per account per user. The same thing with American Express, $250K. Now, this is where SoFi comes ahead, and SoFi does things a little bit differently. And they do offer FDIC insurance of up to $2 million. And they do this by using a network of banks. And then they distribute your money amongst all these other federally insured banks. Now, when it comes to minimum deposit and maintenance fees, these organizations, all of them have zero minimum deposit, zero maintenance fees, which is a plus in my book. And one thing that we need to be paying attention to with SoFi is the fact that they do say they have a minimum deposit of $0. But the truth is that you do need the direct deposit to get the APY. So at the end of the day, the direct deposit then becomes in being your minimum deposit. But you don't have to deposit your whole check, by the way. If you only care about the APY and you don't care about the bonus, you can just set up a direct deposit, which is technically what we do with another bank. You just set up another direct deposit of a certain amount of money that can help you save money. You qualify for the direct deposit, but then you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. You just kind of like, quote unquote, playing the system just so that you can get the high APY. I want to tell you more about this as we go forward in the video. Now, with this being said, how easy is it to access your account in case of an emergency, in case you need to, hey, I need my money right now, give me my money. Now, when it comes to ease of access, Ally, SoFi, and AMEX, they're all very, very similar. You can access your account online. You can do mobile deposits or withdrawals, transfers that is, and you do have access to an ATM with all of these organizations if you open a checking account. The high yield savings account itself doesn't have a debit card, but all of these organizations do have the option to open a checking account with them. And with that, of course, comes ATM access. You do get a debit card, and then you have access to all of these partner networks of ATMs. And in that way, you can access your money, transfer, and then take it out through your checking account. Now, how easy is it to make deposits? If you want to set up bank transfer, if you want to set up direct deposit, a wire transfer, mailing checks, LI and AMEX, American Express, they give you the option of mailing checks. They still give you that option. And of course, you can also make deposits through cash through your ATM, put it in your checking account, and eventually later on just transfer it to your savings. So it's very neat. It's very simple, very, very easy. You don't need a branch. You don't need to talk to anybody. Just go and get it done online. Now, one thing that we, of course, need to be paying attention to, how long does it take for your money to be transferred? Now, my personal requirement, 1 to 3 days is very standard. It's not bad. Some organizations out there offer you same-day transfer, and the only one that I know of that does this is Marcus with Goldman Sachs, which offers you same-day transfer of up to $100K. That's something that I haven't seen with other organizations. But when it comes to these 1 to 3 business days, they do meet my personal requirement of having a 3-day max length for transfer of money to a third party, to another bank. Now, I want to know about you, by the way. Like, why are you saving money? Like, what are your goals? Like, what is it that you're saving towards? What is it that you're looking forward to? And things that I wish I would have known when I was much younger. It's like having financial goals is key, because if you don't have the plans, then you don't know where you're going. You don't know what steps to take, and that can set you back in time. And later on, you're going to say, how did I end up here? Well, you didn't have any plans. You didn't have any goals. So what are you saving for? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. All right, so now lastly, let's talk about some X factors, things that I haven't seen other people talk about. When it comes to LI, SoFi, and AMEX, they have very different history and different come-ups per se. LI itself, or it's associated with a well-established brand, and that is LI Financial, which was formerly known as GMAC, and this goes all the way back to 1919, so over 100 years at this point. AMEX has been in business for over 100 years. It was founded back in 1850 in Buffalo, New York. If you take a look at all these three, that's the one that's the most established, that has the biggest or longest reputation per se. And of course, SoFi, which was somewhat new, it showed up back in 2011. It was founded by a couple of business students. That's the one that's the newest. And this is very important, by the way, knowing the history, knowing who you're associating yourself with, because it gives you a little bit of confidence, trust, and familiarity, which can help you make the decision. If everything else, all is equal, it's really going to come down to who you feel the most confidence in, who you have the most trust in, and also who you feel have that warm and fuzzy feeling that you get whenever you are with an organization, whenever you're with someone. You can just feel like you're just at home. And each of these organizations, of course, have different type of personalities that they will appeal to. At least that's what it seems to me anyways. All right, so now when it comes to monthly withdrawal limits, LI recently updated it to 10 withdrawals limits per month. SoFi has no limit, and AMEX has the limit of 6. Now, one thing that when I was doing research for this video, one thing that I noticed was that AMEX on their website, they don't tell you the amount of limits per month for withdrawals, but I was doing some research and some people were saying it's 9, others were saying that there's no limit, calling customer service. So what I'm going to suggest here, if you believe that you are going to be withdrawing more than 6 times per month on any of all of these, especially specifically for AMEX, I would suggest that you call customer service just to double check with them and saying, hey, how many times can I withdraw money from my account? And that just gives you the warm and fuzzy feeling and confidence. Okay, this is my limit per month. Now, when it comes to human customer service, it's also something that I require from a high yield savings account because, hey, guess what? I want to talk to someone when I'm trying to solve a problem. So human customer service, LI, SoFi, and AMEX, they all offer, they give you someone to talk to. They all have numbers you can call. So no problems there from my perspective. The last thing I want to go over here, and before I give you my personal take on who I would choose, is decent client reviews. And Wallet Hub is an organization that I like using mainly because, hey, it's a third party. So people just go there and submit their questions, concerns, opinions, comments. So LI comes here at 66%, it's a 3.3 out of 5. SoFi, 3 out of 5. And then AMEX, 80% has the highest customer satisfaction out of 1,200 reviews. So it comes ahead at 80% here amongst all these 3 options. Now, one thing, of course, something that I always say is we have to be mindful when we look at these reviews and Personally, I take some time to go over the 1 stars because those are the ones that are the most negative. And I just try to see if what they went through, what they experienced is something that happens often, or it's just like one of a kind. Somebody just had like a bad experience. So they just go out and tell the world about it in order to kind of like get back at the organization because they didn't get what they wanted. So take these with a grain of salt, but it still gives you a general idea of what people think of these 3 organizations. With that being said, my friends, which one speaks to you the most? Ally, hey, decent APY of 4.35. It has savings buckets, which is a feature that I've heard some people love about SoFi or Ally, excuse me. They allow you to build different savings buckets. If you want to save for a car, you can put some money there. If you want to save for a house, you can put some money there. And all of that is under the same savings account. Also have no bonus. They have no minimum deposit, no monthly fees, FDIC insurance of up to $250,000. And also, when I personally used Ally a few years ago, I never had any problems with it. So these are all, in a nutshell, the best features from Ally as far as I see it. Also, when it comes to SoFi, amongst these 3 options, you have the highest APY, of course, of 4.6%. You also do have a bonus of up to $325. You can get this with a link in the description. Also, no minimum deposit, no monthly fees, and we did go over the fact that the minimum deposit is your direct deposit in order to qualify for that 4.6 APY anyway. Now, SoFi does offer an FDIC insurance of up to $2 million, which is a great feature if you have more than $250,000 to deposit. Also, when I use SoFi, I do have SoFi accounts, and honestly, I've never had any problems with it. They just do have a lot of requirements that you have to make sure you read, but if you meet those requirements, then you should be all good to go. Now, when it comes to AMEX, of course, it's the most established amongst these 3. You also have a decent APY of 4.35, which ends up being the same as Ally. Unfortunately, no bonus opening to the public, no minimum deposit, no monthly fees, which is great. FDIC insurance, very standard, of up to $250,000. And of course, also, when I had the credit cards of American Express, I never had any problems. And it's very simple to use, very easy. And of course, you can call customer service with any questions that you may have. Now, lastly, I want to introduce you here to Mr. Warren Buffett. He said, do not say what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Which, now that I think about it, this man made his billions investing and taking risk. I'm pretty sure he didn't make his billions saving money, but it is what it is. And the reason I'm putting this man here and this quote here is because the first option, and this is just me, the first option that speaks to me, because right now I'm young, I'm trying to maximize, I have more time to recover if something ends up happening. And I want SoFi because it gives me the highest APY at the moment. There's a difference of 0.25 here percent, and I want to make sure that I get the more. I'm saving for a house, and I want my highest return possible. So I would go with SoFi. Now, even though they have many requirements, they still have the higher APY from these 3 options. And one of the things that I like to do is I set up direct deposit to save money automatically, which goes back to here. If you save what is left after spending, then you won't be saving much. So it's best to save first and then spend money. So you can just set up a quick direct deposit of 500, 900, 1500, however much fits your budget, and then that will qualify for the SoFi direct deposit. You don't have to deposit your whole check here in order to get started. Now, my second option is AMEX. No questions asked. It's the most established. It's easy to use. I've had good experience with them. And last but not least is Ally. It's not a bad option. It's not something that, oh my God, I fear Ally. It's not anything like that. I am familiar with them. But one of the things that they have is the saving buckets, and also have a good experience with them. So it really comes down to preference. And amongst AMEX and Ally, AMEX just fits my personality a little better. It just depends on what you want. If you want the saving buckets, then maybe Ally is the best option for you. If you want something that has the most established, most better reputation, AMEX would be a good one for you. If you already have other AMEX products, credit cards, and you just want to tag along with them, then hey, that's amazing. It really just comes down to what you're looking for, who gives you the warm and fuzzy feeling of comfort, trust, familiarity. So with that being said, my friends, which bank speaks to you the most? If you are interested in opening an account with any of these banks, with the one that works for you, the one that fits your needs and your personality. Check the links in the description. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you find it useful. With that being said, guys, thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.